everybody. I just wanted to hop on here really quickly and say thank you so much for 10K. And it was requested for me to do a little Q&A session. So I did write a little post on my YouTube that I'm going to answer some questions. Thank you so much. I definitely was not anticipating this when I started this channel. It was just kind of me getting my feet wet into some other forms of content. But I've been really enjoying the community. I've been enjoying the shows that I've been watching and kind of venturing a little bit outside of my usual, which is anime. As a lot of you guys know, I do a lot of cosplay content and anime content, and this is a new world for me with some of these shows that I've been watching. So again, thank you so much. So I'm just going to answer some questions real quick on the post. The first question is, what was your first cosplay? My first cosplay, I think, was Sasha from Attack on Titan. I will insert a photo here probably. And it was actually a Halloween costume, and it was when I was first kind of dabbling in cosplay, because as you know, the Attack on Titan characters are in pretty normal looking clothes, and I used my own hair. I wasn't doing contacts at the time, so that was my first actual cosplay. But Attack on Titan is my favorite series of all time, so I think it's very fitting. The second question asks, they said, congrats on 10K, thank you. Did you go to school or have training for your makeup and cosplay? And what do you do for a living? Are you a makeup artist? So no, I did not go to school for makeup. I don't have any professional training of any sort. I just kind of learned, I think a lot of little girlies learned on YouTube back in the day of how to do makeup. And then I had a big interest in it as a teen. And then it kind of just blossomed during the pandemic. For a lot of us, we kind of found creative outlets, as you guys know, because I kind of fell into cosplaying, but no professional training. And my career is actually in healthcare. So I just work basically in a non-creative type of environment, but I really enjoy what I do. We'll never not be obsessed with your hair. Thank you. I'm not super happy with it right now. I have to retone it and bleach it a little bit more because it's not quite the color I wanted, but thank you. Any reason you have it that way or inspiration? I've had it like this for about 2.5 years, and it was around the time that a lot of girls were doing the little split dye. So I was like, oh, that looks really cute. I need a change, and just kind of settled on this. I don't know how much longer I'll keep it just because it is a lot of maintenance, but I've been enjoying it so far. You look like a person that has seen Naruto. How would you rate it? And would you ever give its sequel a shot? The sequel is looked down on by many, but really, if you only watch the canon parts, it's not that bad. I've watched the entire series, including the filler that many people hate, and it's honestly not as bad as people make it out to be, plus the time skip to the sequel has been on fire. So I asked if they meant Shippuden or Boruto, but they were mostly talking about Shippuden. I have seen Naruto Shippuden. I was watching it when it was airing, but I have not watched it since then. So the day it finished airing was the last time I've actually rewatched any of that series. I would be open to it. I really do love Naruto. It's probably in my, I'd say, top 15 series of all time, mostly for the nostalgia, but I think it was a really integral part of my youth and growing up watching it, and it does have a really special place in my heart. So I enjoyed it, and honestly, there are parts of it that I don't quite remember how things go, so I think it would be worth it a rewatch for sure. What has been your favorite series to react to so far? I would say Arcane, definitely. It's unlike anything I've ever watched before. The story, the acting, the music, the animation is just so beautiful and incredible, and it really opened my eyes to a new type of media that I'd never really have explored before. I've never really been super interested in video game adaptations of things. So just bravo to Riot Games. They did such an incredible job with that series. Someone said, congratulations, you deserve that. I hope we can see you on 100K subs. Thanks so much. I can't even fathom that many people, but hopefully, maybe one day. Hi, which is your favorite song in Arcane? Spin the Wheel, actually, surprisingly enough. That song made me cry like a baby listening to it. And then after I watched episode 7, which it premiered in, I literally played that song, I think 50 times back to back to back to back. When did you do your first cosplay? That was 2020. yeah, 2020 was my first cosplay. Halloween was Sasha Browse from Attack on Titan, and I didn't go out or do anything or go anywhere, but I did take photos, so I'll post one here. Something very special, blank. You see, you can just give this kind of thing to Sailor Kayla and they will be thrilled. What goes in the blank? I would say my dog. She's right next to me, but you guys can't see her. I feel so lucky to have her in my life for the last 10 years. She just turned 10 this past summer. So we've been through a lot together. But yeah, Zoe, my dog. Hey Kayla, keep up the great content and congrats on 10K. What are some shows or manga that you really want to get into soon? Could it be for reactions or on your own time? Definitely all of the new shows that have come out recently, like the new shoujo-esque shows, like Apothecary Diaries has been on my list. My Happy Marriage has been on my list. I just haven't gotten around to watching it. Solo Leveling, I will probably be reacting to. It's been requested quite a bit. Also really looking forward to My Hero Academia Vigilantes, which I have read the manga. I'm obsessed with it. And I'm so excited it's getting an adaptation. And so far it looks really, really good. So I'm stoked. I hope you guys who are, or maybe even if you're not a My Hero fan, Vigilantes is like on another level. It is, I think you guys will really enjoy the story, and the main character, Koichi, is fabulous. Favorite Aussie animal? Have any plans to get any tattoos? My favorite Aussie animal? Oh my gosh. Why is it the only thing I can think of are kangaroos? I'm sorry. Kangaroos actually kind of scare me a little bit because I saw a video once of one kind of like walking up to someone's porch. You probably saw it on TikTok. It was very recent. But that thing was like bigger than like 4 people. It was so scary looking. But the little ones are cute. I can't think of any other Australian animals though. Drop them down below. I'm blanking so hard. And then the second part of the question was, have any plans to get any tattoos? I have a few already, but I definitely have a couple of anime tattoos on my list to get. So my friend Kat and I are planning a trip to Japan in the winter, and we call each other like our Nana and Hachi. So we're planning to get Nana tattoos together either before Japan or like while we're in Japan. So that one I'm really excited about. And then I have an Attack on Titan tattoo that I've had planned for a long time that I just have not gotten around to doing. So that is also on the list, but I have a couple of tattoos already. Hi there. Thank you for watching ATLA. Saw all the episodes again on your Patreon. Just reminded how amazing it is. Also love Don Da Don. Glad you enjoyed it too. My question is, if you have seen X-Men 97 or Castlevania, really recommend them if you haven't. Congrats on 10K subscribers. Thank you so much. I have not seen X-Men 97 or Castlevania, but Castlevania has been requested quite a bit on Patreon, so that's probably going to end up being like a Patreon exclusive, and then I'll eventually get it up to YouTube. And I'm also open to X-Men. I will be honest with you guys, I do love superhero stuff, but more like in the anime realm. So like me watching like The Boys, Invincible, this is kind of all a new world for me. And I actually only recently watched the Marvel movies like a couple of years ago, so I'm not super well versed in superhero media. So open to more suggestions, and maybe open to watching X-Men 97 as well. What's your favorite thing about Arcane and Avatar? Are there any messages that stick with you from those shows? Ooh, yeah, that's a loaded question. Yeah, I would say for Arcane, just the bond of the sisters and how meaningful it is to be a sibling to someone, to have unconditional love for somebody, even if you go different paths in life. And just in general, like, I think Arcane, while it ended pretty like sad for the most part, it still made me feel like it's worth it to like have connections with people that come and go in our lives. And yeah, that it means a lot to me. And with Avatar, I would say the main thing, pretty much everything Uncle Iroh said, pretty much every quote Uncle Iroh said is like ingrained in my spirit now. But particularly, and I talk about this a lot, and I haven't posted this episode yet here on YouTube, but the second to last episode of book 2 with the guru, where he is having Aang open his heart chakra, and he says, lay all your grief out in front of you. And that is going to pave the way for new love. And that really, it hit me hard. You'll see, like in my reaction, I cry quite hard over that. But I think, yeah, it's important to like deal with grief and loss, and just know that like the love from that grief and loss will always be with you, even if it's painful. It's important to know that like love will always find you again. I'm getting choked up. Tier vendor master over here. Kayla, thank you for the reactions. Since you started the channel with MHA, I want to know what are some of your favorite characters and moments from the series. I love this question because I did start with My Hero. My Hero is actually the reason why I even started cosplaying in the first place and TikToking. So it's, I think ultimately like the reason I started YouTube as well. Favorite characters, Deku is definitely number one. I'm a big All Might and Bakugo fan. I love Best Jeanist. Quite a few other side characters. I love Ochako. And the League of Villains storylines are some of my favorite, especially the Todoroki family stuff. I think is like the most well-written plot point in the series. So thank you, Horikoshi, for like sharing that with us. Like favorite moments of all time, I've got a few. I would say the All Might and All for One Camino ward fight is definitely up there. It might be my favorite fight actually in the whole series. I really love in the first couple of seasons, I think it might be season 2 or 3, where Deku faces off against Muscular at the school training camp, and that's like the first time we really see him be so close to losing and dying, and he's apologizing to All Might, apologizing to his mom, and he's like given up, and then he sees that Koda, the little boy, like who has this little water quirk, like sprays Muscular in the face, and that was like all Deku needed to really regain the strength to fight again. The school festival episode, that's one of my favorites, with Aries smiling at the end, like right after, spoiler if you haven't watched My Hero for season 4, but right after Night Eye passes away. Such a beautiful, beautiful turn of events there. What is the meaning of life? Please answer. I think life is about connecting with people and spending time and making memories with people that we love. Top 5 anime you wish more people could get into. I think Fruits Basket. For people that are not really into shoujo or don't watch a lot of shoujo, Fruits Basket is perfection. It is beautiful. Even if you're not a shoujo fan, I would encourage more people to watch it. It is the most perfect story and really covers a lot of topics with surrounding like love and relationships and grief and trauma, and it's so powerful. I think I rewatch it all the time because it's was one of my first anime growing up, the original one, and then when they rebooted it right around the pandemic, I was like, they finished the story. It was so beautifully done. So definitely highly recommend Fruits Basket. The manga is also excellent. Let's see, what else top 5 anime. Like my personal top 5 are not necessarily like unpopular choices, like Attack on Titan, My Hero, Frieren is freaking incredible. I can't even, I just finished rewatching Frieren actually and cried my little eyes out. Soul Eater is another one that I don't think gets a ton of hype anymore, but it's so good. The manga is amazing. I've done a couple of cosplays from Soul Eater back in the day. And what else? I'm looking at my manga shelf right now. Oh, Kaiju number 8 also. I think it actually had really good reception, even though some people had some issues with the animation, but the manga is amazing. So if you guys get a chance to read Kaiju, I love it so much. To each their own, but what's your reason on why you're not into video games, or at least games that aren't Pokemon? It's not that I'm not into them. I just have never owned anything other than like a GameCube or a Nintendo 64 or and now I have a Switch. So kind of like limited choices on there, but I really kind of tend to lean towards like cozy games and games that are like open world. So I love Pokemon. I love farming games and just like things that kind of you play and kind of like distract from like the horrors of the world around us. But I do have every intention of purchasing, when I can like save up enough money, purchasing a PC setup, because I do want to kind of get into gaming, and I really want to play Baldur's Gate actually is like the main one I want to play. Everyone told me not to play League of Legends, so I'm just gonna like stay away from that, I guess. Would you rather put all of Class 1A plus Aizawa and All Might into the MCU and have them be a part of the snap and the battle with Thanos, or would you rather put Omni-Man into the world of MHA? Oh my god, wait, that's a horrible question. Wait. I don't want Omni-Man anywhere near my kids in My Hero, so I'm gonna say not that one. I think that the Class 1A kids, especially Deku with all of his quirks unlocked, I think that they could take Thanos for sure. As long as nobody dies, I will be happy. That's like a really loaded question. Oh my god. Favorite anime then versus now? Favorite anime back in the day, Yu Yu Hakusho. Oh, I will add that one to another one that I think people should watch. That was like my very favorite anime growing up in the 90s. And I just think that the MC Yusuke is so great. I love the team that they have throughout that series, and the manga is also very good. But now my favorite anime, just Yu Yu Hakusho is nostalgic, of course. But my favorite anime now is Attack on Titan for many different reasons. I just think it's perfect. Would you ever consider streaming? Yes, I want to once I have a PC set up. So I will let you guys know whenever that happens. Power Rangers fan. I've never really watched Power Rangers or gotten into it. I liked the pink one growing up because, like, of course, I like girly colors. But I know that Johnny Young Bosch, who voices like everyone, but specifically Ichigo from Bleach, was a Power Ranger, I think, at one point. So maybe we would be willing to watch it and just give it a go. Asks, did you experience any culture shock moving to California? Absolutely, yeah. And I think I'm still kind of working through it. I've not even been here a year yet, but just something about California, it's kind of, while it's a very big city with a lot of people and it's very vast, everything's kind of like spaced out and it feels lonely at times. So that's, I would say, like the main culture shock that I have felt. But I also came from like a very, very small town in like a rural area. But I have been enjoying it so far. So thanks for asking. So what did you eat for breakfast today? Don't be mad. I only had a protein shake. It's not good. Don't do that, guys. Have like a proper meal, proper breakfast. It's important. And could you react to Berserk 1997 anime? Congrats on 10K. I'm actually watching Berserk 1997 on Patreon. It's a Patreon exclusive as of right now for my highest tier. So I've got a few people that are like into it and had requested it for like the highest tier. So I think I'm about almost halfway through right now. And then my plan is to pick up the manga because I do want to read it at some point. What are some shows/movies you really like that you won't be reacting to because you've already seen them? Oh, like everything that people have been requesting. Like I said, I've watched a lot of anime, so I've been requested to watch like JJK, AOT, like all of the good shit, right? I've seen A Silent Voice. I've seen Your Name. I've seen Demon Slayer, Frieren. What else? Death Note. So all big fan of all of those things, but I won't be reacting to them anytime soon because I guess for a reaction channel, it has to be something that, you know, you haven't seen, right? Because that would be the reaction. But if there's enough interest in anything and like people don't care that I'm rewatching something, I would be happy to do that too, because I do often rewatch a lot of my favorite series of all time. What element would you want to bend? If different, what element/nation do you think you'd be born into if it weren't a choice? I would want to bend water. I think I like the healing properties of water and the water bending. I feel like there's so many things you can do with it. It's very fluid. I'm also a water sign, so I just feel very connected to it. But if I had to say what element or nation I think I would be born into in the show, I would say probably like the Earth Kingdom. I don't really have a reason for it. It's just like the vibes. Have you read MHA Extra Chapter for Volume 42? There's some spoilers in this, so I'm going to put a spoiler warning for the end of My Hero Academia here. So skip past this part if you don't want spoilers. Chapter 431 pretty much makes the ending so much better, like a 7 to 8 out of 10. Toya's death is confirmed. The hero rankings are made. Deku is famous throughout all of media. Shoto is happy, and finally Deku x Ochako is a confirmed. Literally a beautiful ending. What are your thoughts on Chapter 431? Has your feelings about the ending changed? I'm absolutely satisfied. I definitely have some conflicting feelings about the ending of My Hero. Overall, like as a series completion, I was happy. I was content. I cried a lot because it was like My Hero is what got me back into anime during the pandemic. I had taken a break for quite a while, so it's very special to my heart and very dear to my heart. So saying goodbye to it, like after the last 4 years of being with the series, was really difficult for me. I was content with Deku's ending personally. I know a lot of people had issues with it, but I think he saved the world. He got to be a hero, and then he kind of proved the point that like you can be a hero without a quirk. And I also appreciate that he got to go and be a teacher and like really inspire the youth of that world to want better and want to do better for themselves and for society. So I love that aspect of the ending. I would say like the main qualm that I have with the My Hero ending is just how the villains' stories wrapped up and how the villains were treated. So I was really unhappy with like Toga's death. Personally, I felt it was frustrating that she was like so young and so full of like promise and could have like, I think she was really like the main one in the League of Villains that had an opportunity to like turn things around, and then she was not given that option. I also don't really like the fact that we didn't really get a whole lot of introspection from Deku after he killed Shigaraki. I feel that we needed more of that, and I wanted that like final panel with Deku and Ochako to be like them having a very heartfelt conversation, like grieving the fact that they were not able to save Toga and Tenko. So that was like really my only issue. I knew Dobby was gonna die. I just kind of hate that that was like how he did it. He just like slowly just died. But I'm really happy with that he and Shoto got to like have like a little moment of connection before that happened. So overall, like I would give it like a solid 9 out of 10. I know people have their issues with it, but I think there's only so much you can do with when you're a creator of a series that's been going on for 10 years. And yeah, overall, like pretty content with it, but I understand like why people do take issue with a lot of it. Thank you so much for answering my questions. You're welcome. And okay, someone else asked, thanks for sharing, Kayla. First question, how would you describe your high school years? I was a theater kid, so I was pretty like nerdy. I was into anime, but like secretly into anime. So I had like some close friends and like one very, very best friend that I still am in contact with, but I wasn't particularly like popular or like anything like that. I played a sport here and there, but I was never like a jock or a nerd or anything like fitting into these little categories, which I think are all stupid anyway. But yeah, I mean, high school it had its moments, it had its challenges, but it was overall fine. What inspired you to start a reaction channel? Actually, like, I really love Let's React. If you guys follow them, they were the first reaction channel I ever watched. And they were watching, at the time, Attack on Titan, which was my favorite show. And I was really kind of seeking out someone to, like, watch it with me. But all of my friends had seen it already. And the people that I wanted to watch with me were not interested in anime. So I was like, let me go on the internet and see if there's anyone else that hasn't watched it that wants to watch it. And it kind of feels like watching with a friend. So Let's React is like definitely what got me into like wanting to do a reaction channel. So if you guys haven't checked them out, I really love their energy. I think they're really like such a sweet couple. And I think they have a lot of really great insight on the shows that they watch. And they do a lot of anime, which is fun too, because I get to kind of watch along like my favorite anime shows with them. Even though I'm not with them, but I think that's like really the point of reaction channels and like why they're so popular and people enjoy them. It's like watching with a friend, right? Watching your favorite shows over again with a friend. So yeah, check them out and shout out to Let's React. You guys are awesome. Favorite beverage, hard or soft drink? Favorite beverage ever, definitely just like coffee. Black coffee is my jam. But I'm also a Diet Coke fiend, so it's a bad habit. I'm sorry. What quirk would you want if you could have any in My Hero? It doesn't, you'd have it in the real world, not in the MHA world. I think I've actually thought about this a lot. I would really probably want like a really OP power, like something similar to Adam Eve's power in Invincible. And I was thinking about this before I even started watching Invincible, how cool it would be to have a power where you can just like manipulate atoms. And like, I just think that's so OP. What draws you to do cosplay? Is it because you like or identify with the character or more about the look of the character? Do you have a favorite that you've done? Is there one you want to do that you think would be too hard to do? So lots of answers to this. I would say usually I start doing a cosplay because one, I've watched the show and I've connected with the character first, or if I really like the character design. But I do have a personal rule that I will not typically, it's happened sometimes, but I will not typically cosplay a character that I've not watched the media for, or at least like watch some of the media for, just because I think it's more fun to like put in energy and time into something that you really enjoy and love. Do I have a favorite that I've done? Oh my gosh. Recent favorites, I would say I did Mina from Kaiju number 8, and I had such a fun time making that canon and the armor, and I really love Kaiju. I actually did that in 2022 before the anime came out, so I'll post a picture here. And some other faves that I've done recently, I really enjoyed doing Bomb Devil from Chainsaw Man. I had a lot of fun. That was like my first experience with like 3D print stuff for the bomb head, and then everything else I kind of made out of like random things, like the bomb like apron thingy. What else? Dark Magician Girl at Anime Expo last year, and I had so much fun with that, and she was like one of my dream cosplays to do. In terms of characters that I want to do that I think would be hard, Anjouamon from Digimon, I started last year, and I then had this big move, and I have put a pause on like that cosplay, but I'll post a couple of things. Like I made the helmet already, I made a couple of the things for that, but it's going to take a lot of effort, especially for the wings, because she has really big, like 8 wings. But that's like dream cosplay. I think it's the coolest character design in like an early 2000s like animated show. Just some other favorites, I guess, like since we're here, I did the Upper Moons from Demon Slayer, and that was like probably the most like creatively challenging because a lot of them are very different looking, and I'll post some pictures as well. And you guys can check out my cosplay stuff on Instagram if you'd like to, TikTok as well, but I'm taking a little break from TikTok right now. But if you want to go to Instagram and check out like the stuff that I've done over the last few years, feel free. What do you do for a living? What country do you live in? And what shows do you have planned in the future? I work in healthcare as what I do for a living. And what country do you live in? I live in the United States. And what shows do you have planned in the future? Definitely MHA Vigilantes is coming up. Solo Leveling, Castlevania, I want to do at some point. What else? I've been requested to do Legend of Vox Machina as well, so that's probably going to be coming here soon. And then I've also been requested to watch Severance, and there's another one, Succession. So all of those eventually. In terms of for YouTube, that will just kind of depend on like the volume of shows that I'm editing at the time, and we'll kind of go from there. But I will update you guys as soon as I have like everything squared away and settled in. And the final question, which I think is so great, and I love Fall Out Boy, top 3 Fall Out Boy songs. Hum Hallelujah is my #1 favorite of all time. Disloyal Order of Water Buffaloes from Folia Du, which I think is their best album personally, because I have taste. I love all their albums though, so don't get me wrong. And third favorite, I would say I've been really into Fake Out from their most recent album recently. It just like gives me feels. It gives me so many feels. So kind of like all over the spectrum there, but I'm a big fan of all of their music. Love you guys. If you're watching, probably not watching, but Pete, Patrick, Joe, Andy, I love you guys. You're amazing. And that's the end of all the questions that I have here. So again, just to wrap up, thanks guys so much for being here. Thank you for 10K. This is so exciting. And I will see you guys next time for my next reaction. Bye.